every person who is charged with a criminal offense is entitled to defend himself in person or by a legal practitioner of his own choice.
Remember that an individual is entitled to remain silent.
Every citizen in Nigeria is entitled to maintain a private life.
You are approaching a military checkpoint or a police checkpoint without knowing that it's against or it offends them and subject you to a frog jump. That is wrong.
Hello everyone, you are welcome to another episode of the program Justify Nigeria on Advent Cable Network Nigerian Television, reaching from Abuja. On today's episode of the program, we are going to be looking at the legal concept of bail. My name is Anozie Chinomso. According to Black's Law Dictionary 6th edition, particularly at page 140, bail is defined as basic conditional right guaranteed to set at liberty temporarily a person arrested, charged to court, or imprisoned. When bail is granted to a suspect, an accused, or a convicted person, it means that there is a temporary release from custody, pending the conclusion of the investigation, determination of the case against him, or determination of his appeal against conviction. This means that either police or the courts may grant bail depending on the circumstance of each particular case. In the course of our discussion today, we are going to properly examine the legal concept of bail in its entirety, types of bail, its exception whether or not bail is a constitutional right. With me in the studio is to discuss this and many more is an Abuja-based legal practitioner, Barrister Victor Obunna. He's an associate partner with Okon Efforts SAN and Associates. You're welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
And we have been talking about bail. Oftentimes, even an ordinary man who is not a lawyer may not necessarily know what bail is all about.
Exactly.
Can you please tell us what bail is all about in a simple manner by which even a non-lawyer will understand, so that viewers out there will know what is bail? What is bail, and probably are there types of bail?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, bail,
Yeah.
in a simple term, means temporary release of a suspect who was arrested either by the police,
Okay.
or detained or imprisoned
Okay.
by the courts.
Right.
Yes, pending a further investigation by the police,
Okay.
or the determination of
The
the
person's
case.
Okay.
in courts.
That is to say that even once somebody is arrested, there must be the application of bail, whether it's police or the court.
Yes,
Are there types of bail?
very well.
Okay,
Very
please.
well. Now, under the criminal justice process, yes, there are categories of bail. Yes, one of them is police bail.
Okay.
Yes, and under police bail, it's a situation where one is arrested, a suspect is arrested,
Okay.
taken to the police.
All right.
Yes, and then the person or his shorty or relatives, as the case may be, will apply to the police, the person in charge of the police station, usually which is the divisional police officer. Yes, for the bail of the arrested person. Yes.
Okay.
Now, in making such an application, it has to be in writing, or usually, orally, but I mean, usually it's in writing, but it can also be made orally.
That's, you're talking about police bail now?
Yes, that is police bail.
Okay.
That's one of the categories.
Categories,
Yes,
okay.
you know,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
And where the person or the shortee or his relatives has applied for his bail, and if the DPO, the head of the police station, is satisfied with the conditions
Okay.
or the terms attached to the application,
Okay. The person might go on bail.
yes, he will be released
But
on
not
bail.
an eternal, it's temporary, as you've just said.
Yes, it is
But
temporary.
counsel, may we understand? Oftentimes they say bail is free. When you go to police station,
Yes.
you see it, bail is free.
Yes.
But somehow, constructively, there seems to be something passing, a hand passing to the police in terms of greasing their hand and all that.
Yes.
Is that right when it comes to police bail? Must there be any money that you have to give or any kind of gratification?
The simple answer is no. bail is free.
Bail is free.
Bail is free.
Bail is
There
free.
is no fee whatsoever. There is no cost.
Then the application you are talking about, sir, is it made across the counter, or maybe the divisional police officer or the IPO you come to his office to do it? I just want to find out.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what happens is this. After taking the statement of the suspect,
Okay.
yes, either, like I said, the suspect
Okay.
or a shorty,
Okay.
or any of his relatives can then approach the IPO, the investigative police officer, through, the DPO, through the investigative police officer, to ask for the release of the suspect.
Okay.
Yes, pending further investigation or conclusion of the
Then
investigation.
who can be a shorty in that circumstance? Anybody?
Okay, good. Anybody can be a shorty, so long as the person, is competent to stand as a shorty for the suspect.
Can you explain the competence? Let's know what
Okay. What I mean by the person must be a competent person to stand as a shorty is this. One, usually the police would say, depending on the nature of the offense, anyway,
yes.
the police would want a civil servant who is reside or who resides within the
political where the crime was committed.
the geographical location of where the alleged crime was committed, or a businessman who has businesses, or who has property, someone who has property, landed property within the geographical location where the alleged offense was committed. Yes.
Thank you very much. That's police bill.
That
You're
is for
about to
police
see
bill.
another category.
Yes. And then the second category is court bail, pending the determination of a case of an accused person.
Okay.
Yes. Now, this is, let me say this before I go into the discourse.
Okay.
Bail by the court, or court bail,
Yes.
is basically at the discretion of the court.
Okay.
It is at the discretion of the court
Okay.
to either grant or refuse bail.
It's not automatic.
It is not automatic. It is at the discretion of the court. The court exercises the discretion.
Exactly.
And in doing that, the court must also exercise that the discretion judicially and judiciously.
Please explain what you mean by that, because you are talking to our viewers.
Okay.
You say judicially
And judiciously.
Please.
Good.
Expansion.
What I mean by that is this: the court, in granting bail, will look at the factors. There are certain factors the court will have to consider in granting bail. For instance, if the offense is a capital offense,
Okay.
which is punishable with death.
For example, what's the example of that capital offense?
That's
Because
what.
we are here to get
Yes,
what-
that's what I'm trying to
Okay,
explain.
okay.
Capital offense is an offense which is punishable by death or
Like?
life imprisonment.
Like
Murder. Like murder, like treasonable, felony.
Felony?
Yes.
Okay.
I know in some states, kidnapping,
Okay.
is punishable with death.
What about rape?
Rape is not.
It's not a capital offense.
It's not a capital
All
offense.
right. Okay. So
At least for now.
For now.
Although some states,
It varies.
we could hear some states making a law saying that once you commit rape and you're found guilty, it's death and all. But I mean that is.
So go ahead.
a
You're looking
discourse
at
for
the
another day.
discretion of the court.
Yes. So like I said, it depends on the nature of the offense. If it is capital offense, we all know that in capital offense, which attracts a maximum punishment of death or life imprisonment, courts rarely grants bail. However, there are circumstances where the courts will look at and bend backwards and say, okay, let's grant bail, which is one where the
Go ahead.
where the health of the accused, is an issue. In that case, there have to be a certification from a medical practitioner who works in government hospital, who will certify and give a certificate that the health of the suspect or the accused person is an issue.
Okay.
By that, the court will look at it and grant bail. Then also, if there is an undue delay to investigate, arraign and prosecute the matter, for over 1 year, for a period of exceeding 1 year, in that circumstance, the court will readily grant bail. Yes, and some other where there are exceptional circumstances, which is, like I said, it is at the discretion of the court. The court will look at issues surrounding
A particular case.
Exactly.
That means it's not automatic. There must be circumstances
No.
that surround.
Yes,
particular
there must
case.
be circumstances surrounding each
which the
particular
court will
case.
now look into
Yes,
before granting
and granting bail.
Thank
Then
you.
secondly, for an offense whose punishment exceeds 3 years,
Okay.
you know, the court is also enjoined to grant bail, but in doing so, the court will consider whether if the suspect or the accused person is granted, is given bail, if he will interfere with the investigation by the police, if he will also threaten the witnesses to be called, you know, then the court will also look at whether he will commit or likelihood that he may commit another offense if released on bail. So these are the also conditions where the court will look at before granting bail. Then thirdly, the court, if the offense, you know, committed is a misdemeanor, you know, a simple offense. What do I mean by that? That is an offense whose term of imprisonment is less than 3 years. It may be with or without a fine, an option of fine. In that circumstance, the court must grant bail. Yes.
Thank
So,
you so much.
yes, that is that.
Okay.
Then the third category, like I mentioned earlier, is bail, court bail, pending the appeal,
Okay.
you know, of a convicted person. Yes.
Okay.
Now, what do I mean by this? That is a situation where the accused person has been convicted already by the court,
Okay.
and he appeals to the next court,
Maybe
or
higher
to,
court.
to the higher court of record. Very good. You know, he appeals. Now, at that stage, the court will also consider, you know, whether or not to grant bail. The conditions are also similar to this, but a slight variation in the sense that there must be a pending appeal.
Okay.
There must be a pending appeal filed by the applicant
Okay.
before the court will consider it and then go ahead and grant bail. You know, yes.
Thank you
And also there are some other point of laws which the court will also look at and then.
All right.
Yes.
There are other points of law that the court have to look at. We are going to look at those points of laws. Are there difference between that of police bail and court bail? Is bail constitutional right? Many more we are going to hear from Barrister Victor after this time out. Please do join us again. Hi, you are welcome to The Speaker, the program that treats tropical issues of the polity. It has always been a profound statement that the future should be better than the past. But in a situation where the antecedents of the past seem to be better than that of the present, it poses a question on whether or not to have better past than a better future. In October 1, 2020, Nigeria celebrated 60th birthday of our independence, which was tagged Diamond Jubilee. In the course of the celebration, there was a brand new logo. There was a usual military parade, flying aircraft exhibition, shooting of guns, salute, and so on. Quite impressive. But in all this, apart from the gift of life given to us solely by God Almighty, is there anything really to celebrate in Nigeria? A country full of bitterness and rancor, a country full of division and hatred, and a country that lacks the capacity to protect lives and properties of the citizen seem to be a failed state. And as such, there is really nothing to celebrate. What really are we celebrating? The high level of unemployment, loss of lives and properties, dilapidated roads and poor infrastructure, demonic looting of the nation's treasury by the political class, primitive accumulation by our leaders, corruption in high places, protection of cows more than that of the human beings, hike in price of electricity tariff and petrol pump price, even in these pandemic hard times, giving of job based on ethnic extractions and religious sentiments. The list is endless. Looking at this, does independence of Nigeria worth celebrating? Your answer is as good as mine. I can strongly remember in the past when unity was the order of the day, when brotherliness and togetherness was the source of our strength, when our unity in diversity was the source of our collective intelligence, when election into public office was not based on your state of origin or where you came from. This assertion is true because in 1952, a Fulani man from the present Sokoto State by name Malam Umaru Altine defeated an Igbo man and became the first elected mayor of Enugu under the platform of NCNC. As at that time, the Accountant General of the Eastern Nigeria was a Yoruba man. The former Minister of Information and Culture and the incumbent President General of Ohaneze Ndibo, Chief John Nyanwodo, during his university days in the University of Ibadan, defeated a Yoruba man and became the SCG president. I now ask you, can this happen now in Nigeria? Another wire question for you. When I was a secondary school student of Federal Government College or Kigwe, nobody questioned me whether or not I would share a reading desk with a Muslim or Yoruba student, because we all came to study in one love, peace, and harmony and unity. I remember when a young graduate from the eastern part of the country is happy because he has been posted to the northern part of the country for his youth service. The good feelings was the same for a northern and western young graduates who has been posted to non-state of his origin for youth service. Viewers, this was the Nigeria of the past. American singer and songwriter Leonard Raymond Sipes, better known as Tommy Collins, was indeed right when he stated in one of his lyrics of his songs, "Take me back to the good old days." A careful look at the highlighted facts and comparison of the past and the present state of things in this country, it will be most laughable for anyone to think that we shall have a better future for the generation yet unborn. I look forward to the day, therefore, when we shall make division and hatred an exception rather than the rule, and unity and love the rule rather than the exception. I look forward to the day, therefore, when corruption and ethnicity will be a thing of the past. I look forward to the day, therefore, when October 1 each year will be used to celebrate the labors of our heroes past and good men and women, and not to celebrate thieves and mediocrity. I look forward to the day, therefore, when we as a people will stop electing hyenas and lions to take care of the goats and sheep. I look forward to the day, therefore, when no one will question my origin, when no one will call me a non-indigen, when no one will cheat me because of my states, when no one will kill me because of my religion and faith, and when I will cease to have a Nigeria president, but rather a Nigerian is truly and finally president. It is therefore my speech that until we all as citizens of Nigeria rise up and do that which is good and right, and go back to the Nigeria of the past, our dream for better Nigeria will continue to be a mirage, illusion, infantile, and unrealizable. My name is Anoze Chinomso. I just want to speak. Hello, glad to know you are still there. We still have Barrister Victor Obona in the studio. Barrister, before we went for break, you are trying to tell us some of the categories. But before that time, are there differences in all these categories? For example, police bail and court bail. Is there any difference or similarities which you would like to educate our viewers?
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, either differences or similarities.
Okay, yes. The differences in these two concepts is one,
yes,
where the police grants bail, the police can also, in the course of its investigation, if they see anything, they can also rearrest the person immediately. It has happened severally.
Wait, as the person is leaving the police station?
No, okay. not as the person is leaving.
Okay.
I mean, it has happened severally where a person is released on bail and asked to come on the next date, and the person comes
and
he'll be detained. But in court bail, under court bail, once the court grants you bail, neither the police
or the court
can even rearrest you again. Okay. But however, the court can order for your rearrest where the suspect or the accused person jumps bail or fails to
meet the
conditions. The court may order that for your continuous detention, or where the person fails to appear in court at a certain time and place, scheduled for the hearing of the case or determination of the case. The court can revoke your bail and issue bench warrant against the suspect or the accused person. Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. But in situation...
And sorry, let me also mention this. Once the court grants bail, the police have no power The police have no
To
power
harass
or
you
any
anymore.
color of right to arrest you or rearrest you on that same offense.
Okay.
Not on a subsequent offense. If the person goes out and commits another offense,
It's a different thing.
That's a different ballgame. The person they automatically will answer for it. But on that same offense for which the person is, was brought before the court, the police cannot rearrest the person again.
So it means somehow that court bail is somehow eternal in this pending determination of the case. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, like
yes, provided.
it's temporary.
Yeah, okay.
Pending the determination
Of the
case or pending the
The,
appeal against the person's
It's
conviction.
not like police bail that once you have been granted bail, tomorrow they will come and arrest you again. Then next tomorrow they will release you. After that they will come again. It's different from court one.
That is different.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, in terms of that court or police bail,
Yes.
must it be a lawyer that will grant the bail or to go for the processes? Because we have seen a situation, somebody will call, hey, lawyer, they have arrested my brother and he's in police station. Why must they call a lawyer? Can't an average citizen or a non-lawyer go for that police bail or even that of court bail? I just want to find out.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me correct that. It is not correct that where a suspect is arrested by the police, that it must be a lawyer
Okay.
that will apply or go for his bail. No.
Okay.
But the society where we have found ourselves today, people prefer the ordinary man in the streets would prefer to have a lawyer to come and stand in for him, because they believe that police have, police and lawyer, we have this synergy. I mean, we respect each other's, and that is it. So by bringing in a lawyer, police would readily attend
And
listen to the lawyer who has come to stand in for the suspect.
Okay, that's good. The same thing with court bail as
And
well.
now for court bail,
Yes.
though a non-lawyer can also approach the court, but it is advisable, that for a suspect who has been arrested or detained in prison custody, engages the services of a lawyer who will approach the court. Because in approaching the court, there are some technical issues
Definitely.
too, which a layman
Yes,
may
sir.
not know,
Yes,
in approaching the court. So engaging a lawyer, the lawyer will know the technical know-how on how to present the case, and also that's it.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Now,
you're welcome.
bail, is it a constitutional right?
Very well.
Can we find it in any constitution? Can you cite any for us? If you have any, you can just cite.
Very well.
Okay.
Bail is a constitutional guaranteed right enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Please, can you just quote it where is the constitution so
Good.
that we know? Even if you have a piece of it, you can just quote and read it from there.
Good. Bail, is contained in Section 35 of the 1999 Constitution, Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. Yes. Yes. In Section 35. Okay, for clarity's sake.
Yes.
Let me just
can, so that our viewers will know
exactly.
that
Now,
what is going
Section
on.
35 of the Constitution says, and I read,
Yes.
that every person shall be entitled to his liberty, and no person shall be deprived of such liberty, saved in the following cases, and in accordance with the procedure permitted by law. Now, what this means is this, that every person, everyone is entitled to his personal, to his liberty. But also, for every rule, there's an exception. There are circumstances where your liberty may be restricted. Now, for instance, in execution of a court sentence, if there is a sentence of court or an order of court against the person's liberty may be hindered, it may be restricted. Secondly, by reason of the person's failure or a person's failure to comply with an order of court. Then thirdly, he said, for the purpose of bringing the person before a court in execution of the order of court upon reasonable suspicion of his having committed a criminal offense.
Okay.
Yes. Then D, in the case of a person who has not attained the age of 18 years, for the purpose of his education or welfare.
Exceptions.
There are so many.
So I think that exception, are you trying to tell us that that would be the circumstance by which somebody might not be granted bail?
No. Okay,
what are the circumstances?
Sorry. Now,
Yes.
let me draw this home.
Okay.
This section is a constitutional guaranteed right.
Right.
Section 35,
Okay.
stating that the liberty of a person, is unfettered, but however, it can be restricted under
Based
certain
on these
conditions. Yes, because why I said it is constitutional is this, where a person's liberty has been tampered with or is being tampered with, the person can approach the court for the enforcement of his fundamental rights.
Under Chapter 4.
Under Chapter 4 of the Constitution. Good. But however, where the circumstances under which the person's liberty is tampered with, if it is contained or covered by any of these, provisos to Section 35 of the Constitution, you cannot enforce it.
Okay, thank you.
That is it.
Are there conditions or circumstances by which somebody will be denied bail legitimately?
Yeah, yes.
How?
There are circumstances where a person may be denied bail, either by the court.
Okay.
For instance,
Yes.
if the person who is arrested or detained by an order of court, the court considers and says that granting him bail, would likely that he may likely commit another offense, or the court looks at the prevalence of the crime for which the person is was arrested, and say, no, if I grant this person bail, he may go back to this same crime. Then also the court looks at the gravity and severity of the offense and all that. There, the conditions are so many. There are so many. Yes.
Now, what about when somebody jumps bail?
Good.
Oftentimes, the shorty will be held responsible.
Good.
Why is that?
Okay, good. The reason is this.
Yes.
In granting bail, the suspect or the accused, is expected to bring in someone, a reliable shorty, like I said earlier, who would stand in for him to attest that, yes, release this person to me and hold me responsible if I fail to bring this person to appear at a certain place or time.
That's the meaning of shorty.
That is,
then
yes.
the court will just...
It's called recognizance. You
Okay.
enter recognizance or bond, depending, yes. Now, this thing may be either, in doing that, the shorty, may, or in granting the bail, they may say, okay, if you fail to bring the suspect on so and so day, so and so time, then you will pay a certain amount, a stated amount.
Okay.
Yes.
Or forfeit certain property.
Forfeit certain property, depending. Now, there are circumstances where the court will even say, deposit so and so amount of money.
Okay.
And, for your bail. In that circumstance, if the person jumps bail, if you can't find the person, then the court
Immediately.
grabs
Because
the
that's
money.
what is signed.
Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you. So, in few minutes, what's your advice to our viewers in circumstances like this?
Oh, good.
Final word.
Final word. My advice to the viewers and to Nigerians is that whenever you find yourself in a situation like this, it is not a do or die affair. Call your lawyer, call your relatives who would approach either the police or the courts to enforce your rights. Bail, like we said, is free. You don't pay money for bail. Bail is free. Yes, and also Nigerians should stay out of trouble. That is the most important thing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
Victor
much.
Bunda for enlightening us. I hope next time we call you, you'll be obliging us.
Very well.
Thank you very much.
Very
We have
well.
heard
Thank
it
you.
all, viewers. Be a good law-abiding citizen. When you have issues like this, call your lawyer. It has been established that bail is a constitutional right, and therefore every suspect or accused person is entitled to bail because it is free. From our discussion so far, it would be right to state that bail can arise at 3 stages of the criminal justice process. 1. The police may release a suspect on bail pending further investigation. 2. The courts may release an accused person on bail pending determination of the case against him. 3. The courts may release a convicted person on bail pending determination of his appeal against conviction. It is therefore advised that you must be careful and mindful of the person that you want to shorty for bail in order not to avoid legal embarrassment and consequences when the accused person or suspect jumps bail. Hi viewers, this is where we draw the curtain of today's episode of the program. Until we come your way again, same time, same station, this is Chinom Sanos, urging you to remain a law-abiding citizen, and bye for now.